Hi guys, I'm back again, and this time I'm sharing a micro mini junk journal that I've created. I've just put this one alongside it just so you can see how small this journal really is. So I'll move that one out of the way and we will try and zoom in, and I'm hoping that the camera will manage to focus okay on such a small journal. So this journal is possibly for a swap I'm hosting over on Junk Journal Junkies. It was my first attempt, and I've got till August so I could possibly make some more and then decide which ones I want to put in the swap. But in the meantime I'm just having fun creating, and I just wanted to see how it would work, or if it would work with my style and whatever. So as I say, I'll just put this together as a trial. So this journal is 3¼ by 2¼ and the thing for the swap was to have 1/2 to 1 inch wide spine, but as you can see I've used some faux leather, so it's created a spine like that. So it's quite hard to measure, but it is approximately 1 inch thick. So the cover was inspired by Wendy, who makes some absolutely gorgeous faux leather journals, obviously on a lot larger scale. But through seeing her beautiful work, I thought I would have a go at using some faux leather and see how it turned out. And I'm quite pleased with it. You know, it's first time of doing that sort of thing, so yeah, really am quite pleased. So the journal I've created, I've layered up some very fine fabric and some lace, music paper, and this little image. Obviously I've scaled everything down to suit the size of the journal, and then I've added some lace. I've tied it with some organza ribbon, which is just held in place on the spine binding, and as you can see from the stitching, there's 2 signatures inside. So we will go inside. I've actually lined the inside with some scrapbook paper, and the first signature here I've used some actual note paper I bought recently. It came in with a pack with some envelopes and some pretty note paper, and this was part of the top, and you'll see the other signature, top and bottom of the note paper, and it was just so lovely, and the image was pretty much the right sort of scale for a little journal like this, so that's what I've used. Here I've used one of Tim Holt's little paper clips, which are also perfect for doing this size journal, and a little envelope which I've got a die for, and in here, oops, sorry, it's caught, that's it, a tiny little image, so that tucks into that envelope. All fingers and thumbs with such a little journal. Here we've got some baking paper, parchment paper, that I've just edged with some scrapbooking paper. Still done my machine stitching where I can. Some of this lace is very tiny, so I've ended up having to just stick that to the edge of the page rather than attempt to machine sew it. Here we've got a little tuck spot, and then inside we've got a tiny piece of tea-dyed paper with one of the little Martha Stewart butterflies, which yet again the tiny ones come into the play really well in this size journal. We've got a little journaling card and a teeny tiny little tag made out of scrapbooking paper. Some stamping on the page. So really I've done everything I normally do, but just on a miniature scale. Here I've used part of a doily, which you'll see the other half as we go through, but on this piece I've actually decoupaged onto there just to give some interest to the fabric, some scrapbooking paper, and here I've just added a little tab with a little offcut of lace and some scrapbooking paper. I've done one of my little fold out booklets that I do in my bigger journals and done some stamping on the pages. I don't know if I mentioned everything's tea dyed as usual. And then on that stitching I've just added, where I sewed those extra pages in, I just added a little bit of lace and a tiny little key charm, because yet again I like everything to be hanging out the edge of the pages for interest. I had some small pieces of pattern vellum which fitted perfectly in the journal, and I've just stapled a one of these Tim Holtz photo negative pieces that I've got. So here we've got a little image that I've used to create a tuck spot and just added a little tag into there. Some ledger paper with some lace sewn on the edge, and a piece of seam binding to add interest to the edge of the page. Here I've just created a little embellishment with a punched butterfly and some of the very fine cheesecloth. Some layered lace, just yet again for added interest. And the centre of this signature I've used one of these little jelly bean soup, I think it's called, pockets. And so this side we've got a tiny little journaling card, and in the centre I've used my little Martha Stewart butterflies on a string, and then this side we've got another journaling card there. Just edged this piece of paper. This was from a magazine, I think it's from Daphne's Diaries, and it was such a pretty piece of paper that I'd been hoarding it, so I thought it was really nice just to edge the page there. Here I've got a tiny glassine bag, which, because it was slightly too big, I've folded up to create a pocket. So in the pocket I've got a little tag that was from an Artie Mays kit that I'd been using, and some teeny tiny little tickets. And then in here we've got another journaling card. And then when I adhered it to the page, I left the edge open so that I could put in a tiny little tag. And yet again, that's been done so that it sticks out and creates a little tag on the edge of the page. Some stamping and a little Martha Stewart butterfly, one of the bigger Martha Stewart butterflies, to create a little tuck there. And then another one of those little tickets, and I've just created a little tuck spot there for a journaling card. Here I found a die when I was shopping yesterday that creates tiny little doily die cuts, so I've created a little tuck spot there. This is the other side of the printed vellum, and this is another one of those tuck spots using the another one of those dies. Here I've created a little tag with some fabric and a little button on, and we've got some decoupage napkin on this page. And this is the other side of that linen doily that I'd decoupaged on, and this is the lacy edge part, and so I've used a garment pin and a little tag and a teeny tiny tag all attached to that. I thought that was really cute. So then we've got some organza ribbon that I've just stitched to that page, and a little butterfly. We've got some ruffled fabric on this page, and here, using another one of the Tim Holtz tiny paper clips, I've just adhered another, but I've just attached another journaling spot. This is the other side of the parchment paper, and the other part of the note paper that I'd used for the outside of the signature. So that just opens up, and then that's the other part of it there. So the second signature, as I say, this was the other part of the note paper, and yet again I thought it was really pretty. And we've got some more of the parchment paper with the decoupage on it, some more of the organza ribbon, and then here are using the Tim Holtz tiny paper clip, I've attached a little tag that actually came out of one of my Daphne's diaries. I thought that was really cute to add there, and then obviously I've got my seam binding and stuff. Some lace has been machine stitched to the edge of that paper, and once again I've added one of those doilies, or another part of that linen doily, and just added some lace and a tiny tag. Here we've got another one of those die cut tiny doilies and a little tag with a rusty paper, staple. And that's the other side, another tuck spot. Here we've got one of the tags that Denise sells in her shop, this time a pink one, and I've attached another one of these teeny tiny tags, and this time I've stuck some pattern paper onto it, and a little butterfly, and obviously that gives you room for journaling this side. And then the other side of that glassine bag has got some decoupage on it, some ledger paper, and we've got the tuck spot this side with another of the little journaling cards, and the other side of the patterned vellum. Here we've got some paper with some very fine lace. That this was what Wendy sent me in a swap and was perfect for this journal. So thank you, Wendy. You can see I'm using your lace you've sent me. Then we've got some scrapbooking paper, and here we've got a decoupage napkin on there. I was really lucky because I'd ordered some napkins and I hadn't realised, but when they came they had lots of small images on them, which meant that they were perfect for these little journals. Some a lace tab on the edge of that page, and another tuck spot using that die. Some more decoupage, centre of the signature, and we've got a little journaling card, and that there. And this is obviously music paper. Another decoupage, a little butterfly on there. We've got a little corner tab there, flip tab, with a journaling card and some spare paper. Lace on here, and some more lace to create an embellishment there with some organza. Here I've used a tab off of a tea bag, and on the hang down part I've added a little charm, some stamping, more stamping, and more patterned vellum, some more seam binding, and another tuck spot here which is on the other side of the glassine bag, and here I've created just a little mini journal to go in there. And then this side we've got a tuck spot more lace. This is the other part of the linen napkin that I've used, and I've decoupaged on there. Some more little seam binding, tuck spot here. The other side of the parchment paper, and another fold out there, and that's the back of the journal. So I hope you like this. I've had really fun making this little tiny journal, and I'm sure this won't be the last one that you'll see from me, but yeah, hopefully I've inspired some of you to have a go at making one as well. So thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, and I will be back again soon. Thank you. Bye.